Hello students, I am JV'n Nehal Mittal and your topic for today is Scope of Consumer Protection Act. When we talk about Consumer Protection Act, what are the objectives and the importance and the scope of this act? What is the purpose for this act? This is what we are going to understand in this lecture. So, uh, the Consumer Protection Act was implemented in order to provide better protection to the rights of the consumers. And prior to the implementation of this act, there was no special act for protecting the consumers, and the only remedy available to the consumers was under the law of torts, that is, filing a civil suit for damages against the shopkeeper or the service provider. So this act is based on the doctrine of Cavit emptor, which means that it is the responsibility of the buyer to identify the defects in the good. There are various objectives which are sought to be protected under the Consumer Protection Act, such as it is to promote and protect all the six rights of the consumer, which will be discussed later. Then it is to provide simple and speedy disposal to the cases by providing quasi-judicial machinery for the redressal of consumer disputes. Then the Act also aims to provide inexpensive redressal to the issues of the consumer. Then there is a consumer dispute redressal forum called State Commission has been set up in order to settle the disputes of each and every consumer in all the states of the country. Then, basically, the main objective was this, that it has to save and encourage and give an opportunity to consumers to speak against insufficiencies and flaws in the goods and services. So, what are the consumer rights? That is the right of safety, right to choose, right to be informed, right to consumer education, right to be heard, right to seek compensation. Similarly, it has responsibilities like responsibility to be aware, responsibility to think independently, responsibility to speak out, responsibility to complain, responsibility to be an ethical consumer. So these rights that I've told were to be promoted and protected. That was also one of the objectives of Consumer Protection Act. Now, when we talk about the purpose for the Consumer Protection Act is to prevent consumers from being exploited and harmed. So, the new Consumer Protection Act protects the consumer rights in a very good way. So, these are the objectives. Also, it is to provide better and all-round protection to consumers. It is also to provide machinery for the speedy redressal of the grievances. It provides right to consumers. It safeguards the right of consumer, and it creates a framework for consumers to seek redressal. So that's all for today. Thank you so much.